live. This is, I think, week 4 of going live. So, like I said, these lives are impromptu. I'm trying to do them during the week. We've been normally doing them on a Wednesday, but today's Friday. So that just shows you where I'm at with my schedule. Like I said, I don't want to commit to like a specific time and day of the week. I really want to be in the moods to do these. So the last few days have been quite busy with getting ready for Black Friday. I might even put this up today as again. In the last live, I've had the last 2 lives, people complaining about the sound. I think that you can hear me all right. I know it's not as loud as it could be, so hopefully it's okay today. If you're somewhere busy and loud, maybe it's not the best time to listen to my live. Maybe wait till you get home and it's quiet. But yeah, today we're going to be doing a general Q&A, just talking, updating you guys on what's going on. Before I start talking too much, it is Black Friday weekend, so Thanksgiving was yesterday. We don't really celebrate Thanksgiving here in Australia, but I am half American. My mother's American, so we did do a nice little Thanksgiving dinner. And yes, that was quite nice. And yeah, so today is Black Friday. We are doing sales for the entire weekend starting today. We are doing sales Friday, Saturday, Sunday, even Monday. And we're doing 30% off Bug Buffet and Green Cuisine. This is like a deal that we're not going to do probably till next Black Friday. So if you've been looking to get someone a nice gift, or you've been looking to try Bug Buffet or Green Cuisine, now's the time. I'm assuming we're going to sell out pretty quickly. We don't have a ton of stock at the moment, so we might even have to put it on back order, but that should be all right heading into Christmas time. So we're also doing 10% off store-wide, so anything you've wanted on the store, we're doing 10% off. And then if you're a local and you're going to come into the fish shop, we're doing 20% off fish and 20% off plants. So I hope that we're busy this weekend. It's been kind of a quieter month. But yeah, those are our sales. So definitely jump on that. It's already been pretty busy today with our store. We've already had like quite a few orders, which is good. But yeah, what have I been up to this week? So last time we caught up, I was just about to go down to Byron with my partner, and we went and spent 5 days in Byron Bay. It was really, really nice little refresher. We chilled out on the beach. We went to cafes and stuff, and we stayed at this really nice little farm stay. It was like, I think it was a converted shipping container, and it was really cool. It had like outdoor shower and stuff, and yeah, we had a really good time. It was nice to have a bit of a break after a really massive, crazy year. And what else has happened? This week, I ended up buying an ice bath. So that came earlier this week, and I've been getting in there every morning before I start my day, trying to get my morning routine down pat. I feel like for probably my whole entire adult life, my morning routine has been terrible. Basically, what I would do is like go to bed on like pretty much on my phone straight until I go to sleep. Turn off my phone, roll over, wake up, and then the first thing I do is get on my phone. And I like haven't really had that distance between like myself and my phone is always filled with like work stuff. So like the first thing, if I check it in the morning, like there's going to be the sales that happened overnight. There's emails, texts, things that need to be addressed and stuff. And so I've been trying to get in a bit of a better routine to try and like control my morning and the start of my day. And I've found that doing the cold plunge has been really, really good for me. So like, I don't ever enjoy it. It's pretty horrible to get in. Like the ice bath is 3 degrees. But basically what I'm doing is, and I'm just telling you guys because I'm super excited about it. But basically what I'm doing is when I go to bed, leaving my phone outside of the bedroom and only using my bedroom for sleep. And then charging my phone like outside. And so going to bed, sleep. And then when I wake up in the morning, I'm not allowed to get back on my phone until I've hopped in the cold plunge. I normally do like a minute and a half, and yeah, I just freeze my butt off. And yeah, so I've been doing that. Um, and then, so that's been really good. Like, I don't know, I feel like it's so nice to like, you get in and it just instantly wakes you up, and then kind of like for the next few hours after, it kind of just sets the pace of your day a little bit. And that kind of gets you in control of the start of your day. So like sometimes I'd find like the first thing I'd do is check my phone, and then like I might get like bad news or something like that, like an annoying text, and then it would kind of just start my day off on the wrong path. So I feel like getting myself like doing something hard straight away in the morning that I don't want to do, and then being proud of myself for doing that, and then kind of like then I go back upstairs and have a coffee and get on my phone and check what I need to do and kind of set the pace for my day. So that's been really, really good. But this week in my fish room has been all about cleaning up. So my sister did take care of my fish while I was gone we were only gone for 4 nights, so nothing catastrophic happened. No fish died. Like all of the fry pretty much survived. She actually did a pretty good job. She overfed a few of the tanks, but I can't be fussy when, you know, I've got my family helping me out. So the only thing that I have to nitpick is that she does throw food on the lids. So I have been going around and cleaning up every single tank in here. I think it's been, I've done it consecutively over 3 days. After this live stream, I'm going to finish up the last part. So it's kind of nice to know. I think it takes me about, if I want to get my fish room in like fish tour ready condition, I need to probably designate myself about 4 to 5 days of like pretty hardcore, like putting on like something on the TV, coming in and cleaning tanks and lids and stuff like that to get it to presentable condition. So we've been working on that. Breeding wise, I had a nice big spawn of angelfish that are up in that blue jar. They've actually hatched out today. So they are going to be my second generation of my koi angelfish, which is very exciting. So hopefully I'm successful in raising up all of those babies and getting a nice little batch of angelfish going, because I want to continue to line breed that fish. Zebra pleco update as well. The worming, I think, has worked. Both of the fish are putting on weight, and earlier this week, I think I put it on my Instagram story, a photo of the fish that was completely like skinny and not looking good, and she's recovered really, really well. So she's still skinny, but I've seen her eating. She's moving in and around the tank, quite active, and yeah, I think I did a pretty good job getting them back up to health. So I think it might be a few more months until they're fat, and then probably back into breeding condition, but that's fish keeping. So they're doing good. What else? I've split up my female cardinal tetras. So I've got my males and females separated, ready to try and spawn them. I think I'm going to try and do that tomorrow. And what else? Yeah, besides the cleaning, just getting everything kind of back in order. I'm going to take some stuff in store today because I want to clean house a little bit in here. Get rid of some, like, you know, 1s and 2s of some fish and take them in store and clear out some tanks and get ready for new projects, because yeah, that's what I want to get into. But anyways, so happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We've got, I think, everyone who's going to hang around for a little bit is here now. So I'll just check some comments. I always charge my phone away from the bedroom. Yep, it's a very good habit. It's really good sleep hygiene, because I think that for a long time I had trouble sleeping, or I wasn't the best sleeper, and I really want to take that more seriously. Like, sleep's very, very important, making sure you're getting enough. And yeah, so that's good that you're charging your phone in another room. And yeah. Did I go fishing? No, I did not go fishing in Byron. We did not do that. And just looking at the comments. Caught a live for once. It's been ages. Yep. So, how are the fairy shrimp doing? So the fairy shrimp, I ended up losing all of them now, so they've all passed on. At the very start, on the first couple of days, I lost, I think, 80% of them because there was a dragonfly nymph in with them. So the dragonfly nymph was killing them. So I hope that some eggs got laid in the substrate. So basically, if you guys haven't seen, we posted the video this week. Me and Jason went to the outback and we ended up catching some fairy shrimp, which are very, very rare. And I threw them into one of my little 5-gallon tanks. And basically they lay eggs in the substrate and they're kind of like killifish. The eggs dry out over the dry season, and then when the rains come, they hatch back out exactly like brine shrimp do. And so what I've done this week is I drain the tank without like siphoning the substrate in case there's eggs in it. And I've now got that under my house, and I'm going to let it completely dry out over the next month. And then once it's completely dried out, I'm going to put it in the sun for a couple of days, hopefully when there's no rain. And if it rains, I'm going to bring it back inside and see if any fairy shrimp hatch out. So that's what's happening with the fairy shrimp. But yeah, so it's Thanksgiving. So I kind of wanted to talk about some stuff that I've been thankful for, because I think that Thanksgiving's a day all about, gratitude and saying what we're thankful for. So maybe if you guys want to comment in the section, in the live chat, some stuff that you're grateful for. I think I'm really grateful for this year, my family. I think that I've always been grateful for my family, but more so this year. Like I had a big loss in my family this year with my grandfather passing away, which was very, very sad and unexpected. And he was someone that I used to look up to, and I still look up to a lot. But, all of our family came together. So I'm very grateful for that. I'm also grateful for my fiancée, Sanam. We got engaged this year, so very exciting. We're starting to build our life together, and I'm very grateful for that. I'm grateful that we got the opportunity to get the warehouse, and that we got that all done and we didn't go out of business. And I'm grateful for you guys coming as customers and helping us out with coming and supporting us and buying stuff and keeping us in business. I'm grateful to Jason for helping me build the entire shop. We pretty much did that all together, and he's been an absolutely amazing mate, and I did not expect that our friendship would turn into what it has. It's just amazing to think about where we were a year ago and where we've got to now. So I definitely am grateful for him, and also grateful for Mia. Mia's done a fantastic job this year with getting our website up and taking care of things while we were gone. Mia's our operations manager at the store. I'm grateful for the whole team, to be honest. Everyone's really done a good job. It was a lot of work this year with moving, and super grateful. What else? Thankful for Sam. Sam's been healthy all year. He's been my little bestie running around the house, and we had a good time in the outback. And it's just something so nice about coming home and seeing your little furry friend, and he's at the door always ready to say hello. And there's some funny moments going for walks in the afternoon with Sam. I'm grateful my zebra pleco's bred. I wasn't expecting that's for sure, especially with where we started off this year with the catastrophes with the power outage and the bloodworms, etc. I'm grateful we finished off this room. I think that we finished it off earlier this year. So I now have pretty much the fish room of my dreams downstairs in my house. I've always wanted something like this with automatic water changes, and this is the perfect amount of tanks for me. It's just been so nice to come down here and chill out. And sometimes you guys miss a lot of the moments that happen in here, because I've kind of put a wall a little bit between filming everything that goes on in here. I only film in here when I really want to. This is kind of like my space and my hobby, and I feel like sometimes I felt like I put a lot of pressure on myself to film everything in here. So but I'm grateful for this room for sure. I'm grateful for our house, and thankful for life in general. So I hope you guys I want to see what you guys are thankful for. Sam tuck it out after the Outback trek was awesome. Yeah, Sam was absolutely exhausted from the Outback trip. Congratulations on the engagement. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's very exciting. Grateful for my family and friends and to many more years. Me too. So, yeah, definitely a good time of the year, like coming into Christmas. Like, it's going to get calls this whole morning probably because it's going to be crazy. So, I'm not going to hang around for ages on this live because we're going to have to get to work. I've got to go to the shop. But, yeah, especially coming this time of year, you're catching up with friends, catching up with family. So, it's definitely important to be grateful. But, what else? What else can we talk about, Sam? I feel like I've covered all the stuff that I wanted to at the start of this, so we're probably going to do some Q&A. And yeah, like ask some questions about, like, you can ask questions about fish, you can ask questions about, I don't know, anything you really want. I'll pick out the questions that I want to answer. But yeah. Thankful for all the great fish keeping YouTubers who share their knowledge and love of the hobby and their awesome videos. Me too. So, yeah, I mean, we've got an amazing community. Like, I've been keeping fish since since 2013. And when we first started out, I remember, when I first started out, like, on YouTube, it was probably the best place to learn stuff. Like, I think aquarium knowledge sort of got passed through books previously and online forums. And I think that YouTube and social media really revolutionized this hobby. I think a lot more people have gotten into the hobby since. And yeah, when I first started out 2013, I think Aquarium Co-op was just starting out. I remember when he had like 30,000 subscribers, and then he was one of the like quicker growers back then. Who else was there? Geez, I'm starting to forget. Who else did I watch back then? It's really changed a lot, to be honest. Like, I think a lot of the bigger content creators now sort of started at the end of the 2010s. There's not many people who've been around the whole time. I mean, you've obviously got like King of DIY. I watched a lot of his videos growing up with like doing the DIY projects, and that I was always like wanting to build my own tanks and stuff. I've never actually built my own glass aquarium before. But yeah, so a lot's changed. So I'm definitely grateful for all the information and the community that we're building. When am I getting married? I think we're going to get married. We're not getting married next year. I think we're going to get married in 2027. To me, like, I think that it's, when you've decided to get engaged to someone and make that promise to them, I think that that's kind of the moment when you realize that you're going to do life together. And I think that when you think about a wedding, like, the wedding is kind of just like a big party. I think that I've seen like some of my friends are starting to get married and stuff, and you can see the stress of like the day, and like, it's a lot of girls, like, sorry, I'm just adjusting my tripod. It's a lot of girls' dreams to get married, and it can actually be quite stressful. And I think that this year, I've got a big family, so does my partner. So I'm assuming, and we've got a lot of friends and family, so I'm assuming it's going to be quite a big party. And I think that we want to really enjoy the day, and we also want to enjoy our time in this period of our lives. And like, we've had a lot of stress this year, like, especially like financially, with like taking on these new expansions in the business and stuff. So I don't know if we'll be ready to get married next year, and like, we kind of want to just enjoy it. So I think that 2027's when we're looking to do it. We haven't got like a date set or anything like that. There's no rush. But yeah, it's definitely not going to carry on until like 2029, I don't think. But yeah, that's where we're at with that. Very exciting though. Grateful for this hobby, that it's adaptive to life and it's always ever changing. There's a lot of hobbies that give so much freedom to do things how you want and need. Yeah, I'm definitely grateful for this hobby. I think that I like the fact that we can, I'm always amazed that we can keep life in a glass box And it even amazes me more that we can keep them, and they're so happy sometimes that they will breed and like procreate. And you're literally watching nature, millions of years of evolution inside of a tiny little box in your house. It's you look. I've noticed with people, you've either got it or you don't. Like you notice when customers come in, if they pick the blue gravel and they're picking SpongeBob ornaments, they're more after, I think, the novelty of um, like keeping in an aquarium. They think of like, goldfish in a bowl. There's that sort of people, and most of them will buy a tank and then it'll fail, and they don't really have that like green thumb. And but then there's the other element of the hobby, and I think that everyone who's watching this is probably within this same within this category. And this is like people with that green thumb, people who are interested by life and nature and how things work and grow, and like want to see like and enjoy that part of the hobby more, like aren't afraid of seeing a little bit of algae, aren't afraid of seeing pest snails, want to see like just have an appreciation for everything that's going on. And I think that that's a way more sustainable way to enjoy the hobby, because I remember at the start, like you see all of these things, like I'll throw this out there as an example. MD Fish Tanks, right? Like his channel and what he creates, I think is absolutely incredible and amazing. Like his tanks and scapes are awesome. But I will admit that like I think that for a lot of people, what he does isn't achievable, and it sets a standard sometimes. Like I think that like that's what fish keeping is all about. And I'm not saying that he sets that standard, but like when someone like my personality type looks at that, they think, well, that's what a successful aquarium is. And to keep an aquarium in its algae-free, always lush with growth, always completely maintained, the fish are always happy, fish are always healthy, it isn't nature. And you might have days of your aquarium keeping where you look at the tank and you go, man, that tank is just so good. It couldn't be any better. And what you got to do in that moment is just like enjoy it, because the thing is, you're going to have a power outage. You're going to have like a heater explode. You're going to have algae just start appearing. You're going to have a timer go off. And the hobby's more about enjoying everything that's going on, looking at the algae on the glass and realizing that that's actually something living there. When you can get into that sort of space and things not needing to be always perfect, and that enjoying them when they are and enjoying when something breeds, and realizing that you're playing with nature and that you can't control it, it just makes it way more sustainable. Because I used to get like almost burnout from seeing like these tanks with these beautiful Monte Carlo carpets, or like these hair grass carpets, and like scapes and things that I could never achieve. Especially as a young kid with no money, like, how are you going to afford to buy like, a water box tank and fill it with like dragonstone? That's like, we're looking at $1,500 there off the bat. So I'm ranting on a little bit, but like, yeah, enjoying the duckweed. Like I hate duckweed, but like realizing that that's part of it too. So yeah, having that like green thumb, I think mentality really helps to make you, in my eyes, someone who's going to keep fish for life. Because it's very easy to like look at people's tanks and compare yourself to them. So yeah, that's where I'm at with the hobby. Like for instance, right, like going through this entire experience with the zebra plecos has been quite humbling, because I wasn't really expecting to go through that. And it's almost more rewarding to save a fish's life. I'm hoping I'm not jinxing myself here, but it's almost more rewarding to save a fish's life from a parasite, and like you're the one that saved it, than it is even sometimes to breed them. I've had these zebra plecos since 2020, so we're going into our 6th year with them, which is crazy. So I've had a fish as a pet for 6 years. I think that's the longest I've ever kept a single fish in my life. And they've been these. I've only got 4 left. These guys have been with me for the entire time. So I'm just rambling on here. I'll get into the comments in a minute. But I had a friend of mine who, he remembered when I got the zebra plecos, and like, he was like, I sent him a reminder, because I had like a memory come up on Facebook being like, of the day when I got the zebra plecos, the first day, because it was like, I was just so excited. And I sent it to him and he goes, "Oh, how many of them are left?" And I'm like, 4. And I just kind of had a moment where I was like, wow, like there's still 4 of them there. Like, and they've had babies twice. You know, things haven't gone completely the way I wanted them to, but still to keep a fish for that long, like that takes someone with dedication and care, and it takes luck, but all of that, yeah. So I am proud of myself for that. By the way, we just had a donation from is that my sister just donated? All right, well, thanks for the $1.50. I think I owe you some money for feeding the fish, so that's funny. So I'm just looking through questions. Have you ever bred Sabwa resplendens before? I'm on my 3rd batch now. Great nano fish. I can't remember what Sabwa resplendens are. Is that Burmese rummy nose? I don't know. See, I'm not a scientific guy. But I haven't bred them before. But good job for getting on your 3rd batch. Any tips on breeding a pistogramma? I've been trying since March this year and only had 1 spawn, which was infertile. Okay. It depends what kind of a pistogramma you've got. They're all a tiny bit different. For instance, at the moment, last year and earlier this year, I bred what did I breed? Borellii opals, which I got from Adrian. I've since decided to change it up, and I went into store this week, and we do have some really nice super red cacatoides. Now, this is a fish that brings me right back to the start of my hobby, right back to when I was 15, and I used to beg my mum, because when you're a little kid, right, like you don't have your own money, like unless you're working somewhere. When you're 14, you can't even work legally. You don't have your own money. So I used to make bargains with her, and I think I'd always fall through. But like, if I got a certain grade at school, I'd be able to get a fish. And the deal was, if I got a good grade, I was able to get some Apistogramma cacatoides. For some reason, I just love them with their massive mohawk and the breeding behavior and like the colors. I just love this fish. So I saw them in store. I picked up a pair. These are locally bred, which is even better. And I've got them in this tank. Yeah, this tank here. To breed them, what I do is I find that they will breed in tap water for me. Sometimes they won't, but sometimes they do. If they don't breed in tap water, you need to add RO water or rainwater. Really softening the water gets them to simulate what the Amazon is like. I find that, well, you're obviously going to need a cave. So I've got a little terracotta cave in there, but we sell coconut caves in store. They work great. You can even do like a terracotta pot with a hole in it. What's going to happen is the female will go into the cave, and when she's ready, you'll see that they're really interesting fish, actually. You'll see the female's colors change throughout a month, and the colors of her indicate to the male when she's ready to breed. So when she's ready to go, she'll get plump. You got to condition them. I feed baby brine shrimp. I feed bug buffet. To be totally honest, I don't think Apistogrammas particularly like bug buffet. It's just something with the way that they feed. They just don't really eat it. Frozen brine shrimp are great, and blackworms are really, really good. I would never feed bloodworms to any Apistogrammas. It does not agree with their internal gut biome. But anyways, so condition them up. She's going to let the male know when she's ready to go. And then she will begin laying eggs, and the male will come in and spawn with her, fertilize the eggs. And then after that, the job's pretty much done. You don't need your male anymore. What I would recommend doing is, once you know that there's a spawn, you can flash a light in the cave, you're going to see little eggs. I would remove the male. This is just what I'd recommend, because what's going to happen is the males are only good for fertilizing, especially in a small tank. I think the way this fish breeds in the wild is I'm just on a massive tangent here, but I think the way that the fish breeds in the wild is the female will lay her eggs in like a Brazil nut or something like that, and the male will patrol probably like a 2 or 3 meter radius. Now in an aquarium, that's not going to happen, so they get a little bit cooped up, and I find that the male just wants to continue to spawn sometimes, and you'll get pairs where they're different. Like every single pair is different. You'll get they're like a bit like discus. Like Some parents will be really good at collaborating and actually raise their babies themselves with the male in there. But I find more times than not, the male is going to be more of a distraction for the female, and he'll want to breed, and he's going to stress her out if he's continually trying to breed. So taking him out is a good idea, but you can leave them in there. Sometimes they'll do their job. And I also add a dither fish. So normally some good dithers for epistogrammas would be a couple of male endlers, a bristlenose, something that's not going to actually be able to eat the babies, but something the female can protect the babies from, because otherwise I find they just get a little bit wigged out. You really need to be like, you need to set it up like nature. What's going to happen is she'll raise the babies, she'll keep the wrigglers, she might even move them around. Don't flash light in there, don't stress them out, just leave them in there. She then will start bringing them out, and this is where the bug buffet does come in useful. So what you're going to want to do, feed a little bit of bug buffet in there, live baby brine shrimp. We use the liquid gold brine shrimp eggs as well. And she will naturally take the babies around and they'll graze. You can keep the babies in with the female all the way until they're sellable size. And that's how I breed them. So I've also done it before where if I do keep the male in there with the female, I've done this before, that what will happen is the female will bring the babies out. The second I see babies, get an airline tube and a hose and try and suck up as many as I can, get them out and let them focus on the next spawn. A lot of people do that as well, but then you've got to focus on raising the babies yourself. So it's a little bit easier just to let nature do its thing. For me, it's actually more enjoyable to watch the parents' behavior. Like, it's really mesmerizing to see a crowd of fry. You walk up to the tank, the female, she like flicks her little fins at the front, lets them know, hey, it's time to hide. They all duck into the substrate, and you sit there for a couple of minutes, and then you see them all come back out and graze, and it's just amazing to watch. So that's how I breed all my pistos, and that's what I'm going to do for my cacatoides this time. We had a donation from George Heraldos. Sounds like a Greek name. Thank you for the $1. And also a donation from Gary Orson. Gary Soren. Have enjoyed and learned from your videos for several years now. Happy Thanksgiving from cold and snowy Wisconsin. Thank you so much for the $10. And yeah, thanks for watching my channel for the last few years. I'm happy that you learnt stuff. I love Wisconsin. I've only been to, where have I been? Balsam Lake in Wisconsin, because my grandparents used to have a lake house there I'd go to as a kid. So very, very cool place in the world, definitely. I have some L144 albino plecos, almost a year old. How can I tell the difference between males and females? This is super easy. The way you tell with that type of bristlenose is males get bristles, like big bushy faces, and females don't. I also find males are a little bit more long and slender, and their head's more of a triangle, where females, especially a healthy female, is going to get really, really fat and plump, and they normally stay a little bit shorter, especially at about that year mark. So very easy to tell if you've got no bristles, you know you got females. And when I say no bristles, like, females do get like little 1 or 2 at the front, but they don't get that big bushy face. But the males get like massive bushy faces. Very, very easy to tell. You can simply Google it and you'll be able to tell. Just going through questions. Okay, this one's a bit hard to answer. What's the best way to take baby guppies out from a community tank? Nets seem to not be okay. Yeah, like, honestly, look, the best way to take babies out of a community tank is to pick a female when she's just about to give birth and separate her. Because when they drop, yeah, good luck, especially if it's planted and completely decorated. What I find is guppies, if you keep an eye on your females, firstly, if you want to do community breeding and you're going to let the female drop the babies in there, you're going to need to have like plenty of hiding spaces in there for the babies to escape. You're going to get a few that get eaten, but you might get a few that survive. But we sell traps at the shop. You can get them online. Basically, it's a separator, so it sits in the main tank, floats on the top. You've probably all seen them. You put the female on the top right before she gives birth, and they drop through, and it has like a little bit of a divider, and the fry fall through the divider, and the female can't just turn around and eat them. What I find, I probably need to make an updated video on this. Female guppies, you develop a bit of a knack for picking when they're going to give birth, but it can be very hard. Female guppies obviously drop live babies, by the way, if you guys don't know that. The best way to tell is they get squared off. So you look at their belly and they've got that gravid spot. As they get more and more pregnant, they're going to get darker and darker, that gravid spot. You might even see eyes. If you see eyes, pull them out. But I look for a squared off look. They start to like, I wish I had like a whiteboard. I kind of do here. We'll do it on this tank. Hopefully this doesn't ruin the stream. I've got a little white pen here. So when you've got your female guppy, she's going to have a belly like this, right? So this is our female. This is a horrible drawing. And this is the gravid spot, right? You're going to notice this spot is going to darken up a lot. And then when they're ready to breed, when they're ready to drop their babies, instead of being a rounded belly like that, it almost looks like this. It's going to be kind of rounded at the front. It's going to square off on the bottom. She's going to get really, really big. But instead of this part, like this here being rounded, it almost squares off. And you might even see like a little peck there. And this is going to be like mega dark. And when it gets to that stage, that's when you pull them out. That's when you pull your female out. So I hope that helped. But that's basically it. Now I've got this really weird sketch on my tank that I'm going to have to wipe off, but I hope that helped. Sorry guys, just reading questions. Been a beautiful Thanksgiving in tiny Jensen, Utah. I'm about to take my turkey out of the oven. Yes, we had turkey last night. I'll be honest, probably not one of my favorite meats. I mean, I do like it, but I definitely only eat it on Thanksgiving. But yeah, we had a really nice little dinner last night. Let me just keep reading questions. Jody P, hey, thanks for dropping in. One of our channel members, I really appreciate that. I have said this before, but I really appreciate everyone who is a channel member. I feel like it's been really hard for us because I don't want to segregate our community into people who are members and who are like regular viewers. I don't really expect people to give me money to watch my content. Like, I like putting it out for free. I feel like if you guys want to support the channel financially, we have Bug Buffet, Green Cuisine, a store you can come visit. So there's plenty of avenues for you to firstly get something in return, but also support us at the same time. I feel like I've tried to do that whole members route, behind the scenes content, things like that. I honestly find that I just don't really enjoy it as much. I prefer putting out all my stuff for everyone. And I don't want to create that expectation of people being members. I will say that like we do get quite a few comments on the YouTube channel, and I try to respond to as many as possible. But like, you know, it falls behind, and I do put my best effort into actually responding to member comments. So and I do notice people who are members a little bit more on the channel. So I think it's like $5 if you want to be a member, join up. But like perks wise, like you might get a members video every now and then. We've got like, we don't even have that many members on the channel at the moment anyways. So yeah, it's there if you want to join, if you want to support through that means. But yeah, definitely not an expectation. And yeah, like I said, like I just like, you know, there's other channels out there, and everyone's got their own way of doing things, but I feel like putting content or information behind a paywall, you know, it definitely has its benefits of like business wise. Like you've got your true fans who like they're going to do anything to get your content. But for me, like I like keeping the channel accessible, and I feel like I can get just as much value from my audience putting it out for free as I would charging for it. So anyways, also another donation. One sec. I can't read your message because there's a little notice on it. It says, let's celebrate their first super on a live stream. Mihail Orik, 92.94. Thank you for the dollar. I've been watching your video for several years now. Happy. That's all I can see, but I really appreciate it. Do you ship to South Africa? I'm not sure if we do. I think we might. If you go on our website and you look at the like put your address in, it's going to tell you whether we ship there or not. That's probably the easiest way to tell. We basically just use Ozpost, and if they send to you, they send to you. It's going to take a while to get to you, but we do send across the world. It just takes a while and it's expensive. So we try to send to everyone we can. And obviously as our business and our brands continue to grow, like we'll be able to distribute worldwide, but it's just going to take time. There's no rush. It's going to take time. It's going to take years and commitment. So, but yeah, we try to. So just check that out online. I'm using your Bug Buffet and Green Cuisine in Bardstown, Kentucky. That's pretty cool. Excellent food. It's worth shipping to the US. Since using it, my Corys have been laying eggs all over the place. What great news. Yeah. Bug Buffet is definitely something the Corys enjoy. This is a good question. How did I go with the storms this week? So, for those of you guys who don't know, you can actually, if you go onto my Instagram, just Keeping Fish Simple on Instagram, and you have a look at my most recent post, you'll see we had hailstorms this week. We've had hailstorms, quite a few hailstorms at the end of this year. I unfortunately, I'm like kicking myself for this. Like I'm really annoyed by it, especially because we're really short of cash at the moment. We had a hailstorm about a month ago, and I left my car at the front of the house, and I wasn't smart thinking enough. Like I'd never really experienced a big hailstorm like the one we got. I could have moved it under a tree or something out the front, and I didn't. We had a huge piece of hail about that big hit the corner of my windscreen and like smashed the corner of it. It needs to be replaced. I've got a Mazda CX-5, and it's got like, I don't care much about cars. I've never cared about them, but it's a reliable car. But of course, it's got all the like bells and whistles of like rain sensor tech, and like you can see like the speed that you're going on like the glass. Like it shows up on the glass. And my excess for my insurance is $1,800. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to do that because if I use my excess, like it's going to get charged on my premium in the next year. And the reason my excess is so high is I've just turned 25, so I think it's going to drop. But because I was under 25, my excess was high because you're considered a high-risk driver. But also, I just try and get the lowest annual premium. But then I went and called a bunch of windshield places, and to get even if you go through Mazda to get your windshield replaced, they quoted me $3,500. So I thought, well, no, not doing that. And then you go to a third party, and it was still $1,750. So that was kind of annoying from the first hailstorm. But this time of year, it's just storm season. It gets so hot. There's all these storms that appear. We've had 4 days in a row of thunderstorms here in Brisbane. But yeah, everything's done all right. Like bananas haven't fallen off the trees out the front. But yeah, my ponds were getting peppered with hail like 2 days ago. And we also had one window at the house get broken by a piece of hail as well. But it's definitely an out of world experience, having like big chunks of ice falling out of the sky. And unfortunately, I don't know what, but this damn pair of zebra plecos that I'm looking at right in front of me, no one's spawning. Like I thought that the storms would make everyone spawn. Maybe like they've kind of passed their like little breeding season, but like no spawning. So kind of annoying, to be honest. I'm grateful for getting more into the hobby lately. I went from a couple small tanks to a 125-gallon African cichlid tank and started a small fish room in my home. Sincerely appreciate all of your help. Thank you for watching the channel. You're more than welcome. And it's great to hear people like really coming into the hobby and enjoying it. And this is a hobby. It takes a lot of dedication and work, and like there's days you're not going to want to clean tanks and that. But overall, I think it's a real good escape for a lot of people. I've talked about that in the past. Like this has definitely been a great escape for me from the real world. Moments that are hard, coming down here to my little oasis. I feel like I'm underwater in a freshwater ecosystem, and it's cool to see other people grateful for that too. Hey Nick, what's your stance on people who came back into the store after losing fish they bought from you? I just had 2 grammies die 3 days after buying from my local fish store. So we kind of have a policy like, look, if you go straight home and they die, or you add them to your tank and they die the day after, like we will replace some stuff. But that's why we always talk about like, if the fish are healthy in store, not showing signs of illness, like as far as I'm concerned, all of our staff are trained well enough to we don't care about making the sale. We want to make sure that you guys have success. So if we think that a fish is going to drop the next day, we wouldn't sell it to you. It'd be back out in the quarantine room, or the tank light would be turned off and it wouldn't be for sale. So if we sell you a fish that's healthy, in good condition, you take it home and it dies 3 days later, generally what that might show is that there is probably an error on your end, especially if you're losing multiples. If you lose one, that might just be bad luck. I think part of it, as you've got to realize as a person buying live fish, you're buying a live animal. Like they can die. So yeah, if you go home and the fish has died in the bag before you get home and it's only been an hour, then yeah, maybe you can do that. But we don't have like a 7-day live fish policy like that. Your fish are definitely going to survive, because like people who, especially aquarists who haven't been in the hobby a long time, like you're going to make those errors day one. So it might sound harsh, but a store also has to protect itself. Like there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes, especially for us with our quarantine process of getting fish healthy and ready for sale and importing them. And for us to just lose the sale or give we always want to have really good customer service, but to give away the sale because someone's done something wrong, we got to kind of protect ourselves as well. So yeah, there's certain instances where we will give a refund or we will give replacements, but I think in your instance, it depends. It's always depends, but we probably wouldn't. Just reading comments. What triggers pea puffers to breed? I think what triggers pea puffers to breed is really good nutrition. So live foods, I found that live foods have always gotten the peas to breed for me. They need to be definitely adult size, but I don't know. I don't think water quality, I've never noticed adding RO water changed it for me or anything like that. So I just find food, really good quality food, fattening them up on live food, really gets them to go. So guys, just reading more comments. I am tempted to show you guys kind of what's going on in the fish room, because it's actually looking quite presentable, but I don't want to run the risk of losing you guys on the stream. So what I'm going to do, I said that I'd go on the stream for an hour. What I'm going to do is we'll keep doing questions until we're about an hour in. And then after that, I'm going to grab the camera, turn it around, show you guys the room. If the stream dies, it dies, and that's it. But if it doesn't die, I'll show you guys what's going on. I've got a good feeling that should be okay. But yeah, chuck a few more questions below. If you've got any anything you've been wanting to get answered by me, I'll do my best, and yeah. Speaking of dead fish, does Australia have issues with neon tetra? In the States, neon tetra are the worst for bringing them home and dead the next morning, overbreeding. I think the issue with neon tetras, and Corey's made a really, really good video of this, is neon tetra disease. Australia actually has fairly good neon tetras because there's a farm, I think, in Innisfail, up north, that breeds neon tetras. So we've actually got the locally bred ones. I don't know why yeah, I think like when you get a fish that's bred in such high mass, you do have a little bit of inbreeding, but I just think that like they are also like a fish that's not meant to live like forever ever. But yeah, that neon tetra disease, it's like that. I think it's called macrobacterium. I always forget like little parts of knowledge and stuff. Like it's hard to remember everything in this hobby, especially when you're not firsthand experiencing it. But yeah, like you can get really shoddy neons. Um, if you're someone, and this is a broad recommendation, but if you're someone that really, really wants to have a really good quality school of neons, it's almost worth buying like 5 or 10 at the start and breeding your own group, because the group that I've got, like I'll lose 1 and 2 every like month, but I've got a good school of about 100 in the tank that I was just showing before, and they are the healthiest neons I've ever had in my life, and I reckon that they can live for years and years and years. But even in that school, you'll notice like 1 or 2 drop off here and there. Like that's just what happens with fish, and when you get like a really tiny little schooling fish, you can lose them. So luckily they don't cost like an arm and a leg to get, but yeah. Honestly, breeding neon tetras is probably one of the most rewarding fish to breed. It's a little bit hands-on, like with getting distilled water and going through that whole process of, adding them to the tank, it not working. But then when you finally get a massive batch of them and you grow them all the way out, it's awesome. Dude, your shop is looking so green and lush. Thank you. When are you getting more Bug Buffet back in stock? I'm so keen to give it a go. So we do have it all in stock. I think it's we're waiting for the next shipments coming in this afternoon, which is kind of untimely because we're running Black Friday sales and we've got a 30% off discount on it. So it's going to be in stock all weekend, but we're probably going to sell it till it's out of stock and just put it on back order for a while and so everyone can get access to the cheap prices. But yeah, that's where we're at with that. What foods do I feed pea puffers? I just feed them live blackworms and mosquito larvae. Have I ever created any mutations while breeding fish? I accidentally got CPD cross dwarf emerald rasbora that came out with longfin mutation. I was happy and surprised. Yeah, that can happen. They do crossbreed. Have I created any mutations? I mean, you'll get the occasional fish when you're breeding stuff that's short-bodied, like you get short-bodied Corydoras, you get short-bodied bettas, you get short-bodied plecos. I once had a pleco egg hatch out with 2 heads. That was kind of crazy. That was like a bit of a Lake Springfield moment. I'm just trying to think, like, I mean, you can create mutations all the time, like with crossbreeding certain colors and stuff. You're going to get all sorts of different colorations coming through and that. But yeah, the double-headed pleco egg was really random. Like I think it was a L333, and they hatched out, and it was like the wriggler stage of a pleco, but it had 2 heads on it. It was super weird. It died days later. It didn't survive, but very, very interesting. Hi Nick, watching from Oklahoma. I've always been curious, where or how do you source your tanks? I love the look of them, but I can't find the equivalent here in the US. So you've kind of got to do your own research and figure out, because like tanks suppliers are different across the world. The tanks that are all in my fish room here were built by someone local. But the tanks at the shop we had to buy from China. So they got bought a couple of years ago. And yeah, like China makes pretty much everything for the entire world at this stage. So yeah, we just got all the tanks from China. But I think Petco does some decent deals on tanks. Like they do the $1 per gallon thing. I don't know if that doesn't happen here. I get asked that question so much, and it's such a hard one to answer. It's like, I wish we had our own tanks to sell you, but yeah. All right, well, I think what I might do, I'm kind of done with answering questions for now. I kind of want to show you guys what's going on in the room, so we're going to do that. Hey, how about that? So I'll grab you guys off here. If the stream just cuts out, it cuts out, all right? So this could be goodbye, or it could be the start of something really interesting. So hopefully this works. I'll flip the camera around and show you guys what's going on. I'll get that cord out of the way. So let's move this. Here's Sammy, my little boy. Hey mate, how you going? You having a relaxing morning? Yeah. Good boy. So here's the room at the moment. I have cleaned these two, all of these tanks yesterday. The top one, this is a really annoying tank to clean. I have cleaned these. I haven't cleaned the little tanks. These, and what I'm going to do today is I've got to clean these 6 and these bottom 2, and I'm done. How are the fish going? They're all doing good. Look at these prey cocks. I just absolutely love this little school of them. Let's see if they all come up to the front. These are my dwarf neon rainbow fish. Looking really good. You can see this goldfish tank. Super clear. Have a look at this.